Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, I decided I'm just going to do a live really quick instead of editing and all that because this is huge. We're still talking about the story that I dropped just like an hour or so ago. Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies. At first, he was arrested. Now he has been officially charged. He has been charged with the conspiracy. So he wasn't like the main one that did anything, but he conspired. He may have even, been the one to put this all in motion. We're going to look at some of the news that has been dropping. We're going to look at what Instagram has to say. We're going to look at some of the comments on the previous video. I'm like floored. I'm shocked. And I knew this was going to be something huge because my phone kept going off and I couldn't catch a break. I was trying to watch television and look over some other news in the beauty community, and this story just kept blinging my tablet, my phone. I'm like, what is going on? So let me just do a screen share because y'all know I come with receipts. I do not like to give anybody news and I don't have, receipts that's going on. So this dropped at 8:04 p.m., which is just 9:11 my time, and I'm central, so this is like just a few minutes apart. Tim Norman of Welcome to Sweetie Pies was arrested in connection with his nephew's murder, and 45 minutes ago, Welcome to Sweetie Pies star owner charged in alleged murder for hire plot. So he has been officially charged. He is not just arrested, and this is not just speculation. The FBI is involved and he has been charged. So the owner of the Jackson location of Sweetie Pies and star of the own reality series Welcome to Sweetie Pies has been arrested on federal charges for his alleged involvement in a murder for hire plot that resulted in the death of his nephew. So James Tim Norton, 41 years old, who starred in the reality program On OWN, was arrested by FBI agents Tuesday, which is today, in Jackson on charges of conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire, which is probably how he got caught, resulting in death, according to a statement released by the FBI's Jackson office. So an affidavit filed August the 11th states that Norman conspired with a exotic dancer that has been reported in my previous video, which her name is Terica Ellis of Memphis, Tennessee, using prepaid cell phones to coordinate the murder of Norman's 21-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery, which we all saw on the show on March 14th, 2016 in St. Louis, Missouri. So Ellis also faces one count of conspiracy, according to the complaint. The affidavit states that Norman attempted to obtain a life insurance policy for Montgomery in the amount of $250,000 in October 2014, but the policy was not issued. Another policy totaling $450,000 was issued by a separate insurance company 2 weeks later, and Norman was named as the sole beneficiary. So on March 10th, 2016, Ellis allegedly contacted Montgomery, who informed him that she was on her way into St. Louis, according to communications obtained by the FBI. So on March 13th, 2016, the day before Montgomery's death, Norman flew from his then residence in Los Angeles, flew into St. Louis. Two prepaid cell phones, which were later traced to both Norman and Ellis, were activated on March 14th, 2016, and used throughout the day for communication between the suspects. So according to the affidavit, Montgomery sent his address where he was ultimately killed to Ellis' cell phone that evening, and Ellis then contacted Norman. So there was actual records, like the FBI has this information in their hand, and all of the information leads to Tim being the brainchild behind all of this. And the clinch for me is that, why do you have an insurance policy for your nephew in that large amount of money. Montgomery was shot and killed less than an hour later. Do you understand what I'm saying? Less than an hour later of that last conversation, he was shot and killed. Okay, and location data from Ellis's phone places her in the vicinity at the time of Montgomery's death. Ellis allegedly contacted Norman again after Montgomery's death, then began returning to Memphis. Both Ellis and Norman's devices ceased all activity on March 15th, 2016. 4 days later, Norman attempted to collect on Montgomery's insurance policy, but was subsequently denied because he could not provide several requested documents according to the affidavit. In addition, Ellis made several cash deposits into her bank accounts in Memphis between March 15th through 17th of 2016, totaling over $9,000. According to records show that Ellis, along with her mother and daughter, traveled to Los Angeles on March 22nd, 2016, and were in the same location as Norman on at least one occasion before they returned to Memphis on March 28th, 2016. The affidavit also states that Norman wired money to Ellis 1 month later. All right. If that's not enough for you, let's keep reading, shall we? Norman has previously had several run-ins with the law. This is after he got out of prison. According to his biography in the Welcome to Sweetie Pie section of the OWN website, he was arrested on armed robbery charges. He served 10 years in prison. Then after that, in 2018, he was charged for misdemeanor assault charges in Harris County, Texas, after allegedly punching a former employee in the face, according to several news outlets. So in 2019, a Houston-based property company sued Norman for unpaid rent totaling over $254,000. He faced similar trouble in Jackson in December 2019 after the owners of the Plaza building said he owed them $100,000 in rent. Norman said at the time he didn't pay due to issues with the building, which we did see some of those issues on the show. And the issues were, it was like, okay, yeah, you need to fix the, leak. You need to fix this. You need to fix that. So we did actually see some of that when he was trying to get the building. But then after the show went off, there's no way of knowing except for he said, she said. So previously, the restaurant was forced to close for 8 days by the city due to operation violations. The restaurant moved to its current location on East South Street in January. This is a developing story and will be updated. So this is all the information we have right now. And this is the latest information we have, which dropped a little more than 45 minutes ago. You guys, I'm tripping out. He is not just arrested. He has been charged, legally charged 45 minutes ago. I'm so stunned. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it is horrible. It is horrible. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is crazy. Let's see what Instagram is saying. Instagram is talking right now. Tim Norman, like his name is everywhere. If you ever wanted to be famous, Tim, Instagram is talking. Instagram is saying, welcome to Sweetie Pie star Tim Norman charged with conspiracy and alleged murder for hire plot and the death of his nephew. This was by Kelly Williams. And this is the Jasmine brand, which we are all familiar with. And it says pretty much the same thing. There's not a whole lot of new news for that, but everybody is saying, oh my God, never trust a man with hips like that. So not funny. But y'all didn't believe Jennifer when she said, okay, now listen, bombshell. I still don't believe Jennifer Williams because Jennifer has been known to lie. And if you watch Basketball Wives, we all know that Jennifer lied, okay, on Shaq's poor little ex-wife, the founder of Basketball Wives, the franchise, the show, lied on Shaq, we can't trust Jennifer. So we still don't believe Jennifer, but it's whatever. It is what it is. Pretty Face says, I'm reading these court papers now. That man was cold blooded. I mean, the evidence, like I was hoping when the story dropped, you guys, I was so hoping. I was like, okay, Jenae said, who is the girl? The girl was a random girl at, and some strip club. She was an exotic dancer. It was like, if you're going to do a brainchild, scenario, this is like, okay, I'm just going to go and get someone who's random, or maybe I'll ask somebody on the street because Tim knows people on the street clearly. And I was so hoping that, it wasn't true. I was like, come on, Tim is a stand-up guy. He's changed his life around. That's what I meant when I said that. I'm like, the first season of Sweetie Pies, if you guys saw it, hey, Nate, LLC3, what's going on? We're talking about the Tim Norman story. He was arrested earlier, and just about an hour ago, he was officially charged with the murder of his nephew, which is what we're talking about. And if you don't know Tim Norman, look him up. He's all over the internet right now. He is the co-star of Welcome to Sweetie Pies, which aired on the OWN network. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. The FBI officially, and I dropped the story, but I didn't even think I was going to go live because I didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal. Yeah, all of the pictures. See, I don't have a MySpace anymore. Well, I do, Shawana, but I don't know how to log in. I don't know how to log in. So let's get back to Instagram and see what Instagram is saying. 2020 truly is the year of revelation. All I can say is wow. I mean, it's hard to believe if you watch the show, if you're a fan of Sweetie Pies, if you're a fan of Miss Robbie, if you've ever met these people in person. This is a hard to believe. But then you have to think about, we just read the article, the times and the time slots and the activity that happened. Like, you can't ignore that. Let's look at some of the comments that I have on my YouTube, because I have a lot of comments coming in, and I don't want to ignore you guys that are commenting on the previous video. If you haven't seen the video, go ahead and watch it. I also have the drama that started last month in part 1 and part 2 linked in that video. Delisha from YouTube says that, let me go back. Tim has hit a new all-time low. Prayers for Miss Robbie. Her son has damaged all her business here in the STL and other states. Now this, I can't even say I'm shook. Tim always been a criminal even before the show, and people know him for his track record. And I'm sorry to say, like, none of us are Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, if you've ever done something shady, people are not going to put that past you. You know what I'm saying? Just Be Real says he's trying to kill his mama. Oh, please don't let this be true. I'm telling you, this could not be my child. I would be on my deathbed right now. Omar says this is horrible. I remember the episode when DeAndre was murdered. So do I, because I watched it until it went off the air. Same here. I was a diehard fan. Tim, wow, this is evil. It's so hard to believe, you guys. Like, it's so hard to believe, but you can't ignore the evidence. Like, it's right there. It's right there. I mean, an account of every detail, and y'all know how the FBI is. Like, our local police department, they can do, their little job or whatever, but when the FBI gets involved, now let's go back. Let's go back to hey Victoria, welcome all you guys. I'm so glad you guys are here. If you have anything to say, any comments, feel free. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, so if you guys want to get in on the conversation, you can feel free. Let me drop that link. I know this is like truly unbelievable. Like, I'm shook. Like, I'm totally shook. Hi to everybody on Periscope. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Listen, this okay. Listen, I don't even know what to say. Like, the FBI has an account of every single step. They went and got phone records. They went and talked to the people at the strip club. Somebody in the chat just said pictures are on the exotic dancers MySpace, which I'm like, MySpace? He always seemed like, okay, let's go back. If you guys remember the show, let's go back to before DeAndre's murder. Remember when they were getting the cars? It was Tim and DeAndre and his cousin, and they were doing the delivery cars. Do you remember that? And he was like, I know, right? Like, yes, but MySpace, apparently, if you are a musician, you have a MySpace account. Remember the episode when, he graduated college, he graduated high school, I'm sorry. He had on his cap and gown, and Tim had given him and his little cousin the opportunity to drive the cars, and he had a plan. Like, he was like, I know what I want to do. I'm not just, shooting the breeze or whatever. Well, then after that, it was reported that he was murdered. Hey, Fly Eagles Fly, thanks for coming. It was like, he's been shot and killed. Tim said in that episode, if you could go back and get it, I don't know if it's on Pluto TV or what, but if you can pull up episodes, Tim said, we will find out who did this in the press conference. He was standing right by Miss Robbie. I remember that. I remember that episode. He was upset about it. He was like, this is so sad. We're going to find out who did this. And lo and behold, we just found out who did it. It was him the whole time. You put it in motion. How in the world? Listen, don't play with the FBI. The FBI said you tried to get a policy and they refused you. You tried to get the second policy. You got the policy. But then when you tried to cash in on the policy, they said, no. We need some documentation because we are not giving you this money. I mean, they found out, Jenae, like, it's a done deal. He's already been charged. He's not getting out. There's no, as far as we know, like, checking back on the story, and I'm refreshing this so I can get, like, the updates. I don't see a bell being posted. Like, you're done. Like, you're not coming home. And this is so sad because I'm looking at it like you've already spent a chunk of your life in prison, and you vowed to all of America and Oprah on her network, your mother, for God's sake, I'm not doing anything to go back. Yet, here you are going back. The worst case scenario is life without the possibility of parole. I don't think he's going to get the death penalty or anything because he didn't pull the trigger. But he did hire someone to do it. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say it. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, but Tim Norman, you are a Black man. This is not the time for your shenanigans to be found out. And this is your nephew, your brother's son. Who does that? Who? Your brother's son that you're supposed to be looking after. You're supposed to be nurturing. You're supposed to be taking care of him. And this is what you do. I'm sorry. And look, y'all already know I am a diehard fan of Miss Robbie and all she does. But I mean, you can't argue with receipts. Yes, Victoria. Yes. Remember they talked about it on the show. I mean, under all the concrete of the prison. Like, you don't need to see any more daylight. A graduate, for God's sake. And you remember how Miss Robbie was saying that there's not a whole lot of, graduates. There's not a whole lot of people, that graduated in my family. And I'm so proud. And your dad would be so proud if he was here. And I mean, like, just like that, he's gone. And they're on here talking about, we're going to find out who did this. And this is so sad. And he's doing press conferences and he's doing speaking engagements. And if you ever followed Tim Norman on Twitter, he always would post where he has to speak next. And and it was just like, I felt so bad for him 4 weeks ago when I posted the story about him and Jenae and how he wasn't able to go see his son. I'm sorry, but now your credibility is shot with that story. I kind of feel like, Tim, did you try your best to see your son? I'm just saying, like, everybody's thinking about that, right? Everybody's going to be like, so let me backtrack, because you said Jenae was keeping you from seeing your son. Victor says it does not look good because he's always a convicted felon. I mean, once a convicted felon, that's always on your record. Arms robbery, not like just I went in the store and pretended like I had a gun. No, like you had weapons in your possession, black man. And now you're not too low. You're not too low that you did this. Are you kidding me right now? Miss Robbie better count her blessings, because he probably was plotting on her too. Somebody said that in my comments. Somebody said she better be watching out. And I'm like, there's no need. The FBI has him in custody. This is not like going to jail and sitting it out in the drunk tank. He's gone down. You know what I'm saying? This is when he was stealing his mother's money. It was on the show, buying property without authorization. Yes, Tracy, we saw that. The episodes where he was like taking money out of the treasury, and there was a girl. Do you guys remember her name? Tim hired her as one of the managers or whatever. She was to sign the documents, and she was to do things, and Tim was like, you don't have to ask me about this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm giving you these orders and just do this. You know what I'm saying? So now, you get in cahoots. And let me just be frank. Tim he knows a lot of women. Flagles Fly said, I got perfect shirt for you that I bought. I'm not sure what top you're talking about. It's in the title. It's in the title. Thank you, Victor. Yeah, I saw her name in the article, and all of the articles that I dropped in the previous video, I did see her name. She is the person in question. According to, you remember that, Jenae? According to the article that we just saw, she pulled the trigger. Now, that's just me saying that. Allegedly, she pulled the trigger. For all I know, she could have had somebody pull the trigger. She could have just known the hitman. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She could have just been the informant. But what we know for sure is that she's sitting in a jail cell as well, because she was in it. So now it's the FBI's turn to say, what was your role in this whole thing? What was your role in this? Because, were you the one that pulled the trigger, or, were you just a contact in all of this? And why did you get paid for it? Because money was wired, and you can't be like, oh, well, that money came from my job, or, blah, 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 because look at the timeline. The timeline is like, as soon as you hung up the phone, you know what I'm saying? A few hours later, you started getting money. The shirt is not today, Satan. That is the perfect shirt. That is the perfect shirt. But you guys remember, and you remember the first lady that he hired as the manager, and Tim was like, she's going to get fired. I'm pretty sure she got fired. The woman was so on the up and up that she wasn't going to do anything illegal, like steal Miss Robbie's money. She wanted to know X, Y, and Z. So he got rid of her. But then he hired the other girl. And the rules changed for her. We just had too many changes with the other manager. We want you to come in and, focus on the food. And if I need anything, I work closely with my mom or his assistant, the little girl that was the assistant. Remember her? Uh-huh. And Jenae said, who is she? And why is she always right here? Okay. Who is this girl? Why is she carrying around envelopes? Why is she opening mail? Who is this girl? That's Tim's assistant. Tim, why do you need an assistant? TMZ, let's look it up. Because TMZ is shady, but they do have stuff. All right, I'm going to go to TMZ. We're going to look and see. If I find it, I'll share the screen so you guys can read along with me. It's not looking like it's on the front page right now. Yep. Okay, TMZ is still saying he's arrested. But he's not just arrested, hun. TMZ, update your stuff. When did they drop this? TMZ is late. So the one you want to look for is clarionledger.com. That is the most recent one. So TMZ is late. They're 4:41 p.m. They haven't updated the story yet. But it does say that Ellis is facing the same murder for hire conspiracy charge as Norman. And that still stands because they're trying to see what her role was in this whole thing. What was your role? So this is Miss Robbie's grandson and Tim's nephew that we're talking about. I'm just floored. Like, I just can't, my nerves are shot. He probably was sleeping with her too. I'm trying to tell you. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all know that man hit it. Let's just keep it real. I'm 49 years old. I am not an idiot. Tim, I love you, but you hit it. We know you did. And just about everybody that you got with and just about everybody that you hired in that store all had a look. They were a type. Am I right? Kind of light skin, with the long hair or the long weave, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, not the brightest crayon in the box, you know what I'm saying? But, it's like, Tim, what do you want me to do today, Tim? Tim, what do you have for me to do today? No, Tim told me to do this. So this is what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a bit much. It was a bit much. It's just like, it was a bit much. What are you talking about? You don't work here for real. You're Tim's assistant. Why are you at every restaurant? Because you're stealing money for the man. So he can say, where did the money go? And I remember one of those episodes. They were like, where did this money go? How is money just missing? This is too much money to be missing. Who counted down the registers? When the first general manager was hired, it was like all of a sudden she had to go. She had to leave. But then it's like, oh, let me get somebody who's not that smart. Let me get somebody who's more, brainiac in the kitchen. Worry about the food. Don't worry about what's going on in the office. I never seen the show, but it sounds like First Degree Murder. I mean, all signs are right here. All signs are right here. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay, for those of you who have not seen it, you've not read it, we're going to go back through. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this because they're updating. So Tim has been charged, legally charged, not by police, but by FBI. He's charged. And his accomplice has been charged with the very same crime. So here it is. It has been updated. They've got a new Sweetie Pie's picture up here. James Tim Norman, 41, who starred in the reality program, was arrested by FBI agents Tuesday in Jackson on charges of conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire, resulting in death, according to a statement released by the FBI's Jackson office. An affidavit filed August the 11th states that Norman conspired with Terica Ellis. Remember that name. If you're a fan of Sweetie Pies, Terica Ellis. I'm just saying, if you ever go back and watch, okay, Google it. Terica Ellis of Memphis, Tennessee, using prepaid cell phones to coordinate the murder of Norman's 21-year-old nephew. Now, I got to stop right there because something just hit me. Let me let you know something right now. You tried the one time to get the insurance policy and they said no. But then when you went to get the policy again with a different insurance agency, you doubled how much you wanted to get on this guy and you still didn't get paid. Idiot. You still didn't get paid. You did all this for nothing. You murdered a man for nothing. Listen. Here's the receipts right here. You want receipts? We got it right here on the screen. The affidavit states that Norman attempted to obtain a life insurance policy for Montgomery in the amount of $250,000. This was in October 2014, but the policy was not issued. So then another policy totaling in $450,000 was issued by a separate insurance company 2 weeks later, and Norman was named the sole beneficiary. So because he got that insurance policy, he was sure that he was going to, get that money. But in order for you to get that money, you have to have certain documents. Now, who knows what those documents are? I do. Now, here's the thing, though. If Montgomery was in Tim's custody, okay, if you were his legal guardian, you would have been awarded those documents. I am betting that Miss Robbie had those documents. What do y'all think? I'm betting that Miss Robbie had those documents because you need the death certificate. You need the documents from the hospital or whoever called the time of death. The person that was in charge of you, you're going to identify the body, you're going to make the funeral arrangements. That was Miss Robbie. There's no way that he could have gotten those documents from Miss Robbie without her knowing. Yeah, thank you, Victor. Jacqueline says, if this is true, this will devastate his mother, son, and father, dead surviving son arrested for nephew's death. Can you imagine what this family is going through right now at this moment? Could you imagine? Because it's still Tuesday, and this happened earlier today. So this just hours ago, just some hours ago, he was arrested. Less than 2 hours ago, he was officially charged. The FBI said, boom, we got you. Now, who are you working with? So when they questioned his booty call, aka Terica Ellis, I'm just alleged booty call. Oh God. And look at how many look at how many restaurants were open. Some that Miss Robbie knew about, some that she didn't know about until later. The surviving restaurants. I'm praying to God that people say Miss Robbie, deserves, a business. We're going to continue, to eat at her restaurant. I hope that's my prayer, is that her business isn't affected, because we all know right now, as it sits, the family is affected by this. Devastation has already hit. There has been enough time in the day for this to sink in. There's been enough news all over the internet, all over the TV, all over the radio stations, that you can put two and two together. And you know who Miss Ellis is. You already know who Tim used to hire to run around in his restaurants, to do his social media for him, to be his personal assistants. Okay? We all know what was really going down because of the missing money. And I kind of feel like, and this is just me, I know what Miss Robbie said, that she was tired and she wanted to get back into singing, so the show wasn't going to come back on the air. But for me, when Sweetie Pies decided to leave the OWN network, because Oprah said, she's going to miss them. She wished they would come back for another season. You know what I'm saying? Like she was getting ready to call in Iyanla Vanzant. Y'all need some help? I got somebody to help you right here. And they pulled the plug themselves. We're not going to re-sign the contract. In the midst of Tim acting a fool is when they said, we're not going to re-sign the contract. Y'all remember that? In the midst of him acting a fool, opening up restaurants, missing money, he got involved with Jennifer, and then all of a sudden Jennifer was gone. Now, listen, if y'all watch the show, if y'all watch Basketball Wives, I am not a fan of Jennifer. However, I don't approve of anybody getting beat up. Don't put your hands on the girl. How old was he? As far as this article, he was 18. At the time he was shot. Because he had just graduated. He hadn't been long graduated. And I'm looking just to make sure. Okay. When he was shot, when he was on the show, he was 17 and had graduated. So now, after he had been shot, he was 21 years old. Norman's 21-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery, on March 14, 2016 in St. Louis, Missouri. So he was 21. So 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so this was like 3.5-ish years apart. Victoria, girl, let me let you know, Miss Robbie is not a fool. Okay? Miss Robbie is not a fool. And listen, I hate this. I hate that we as human beings, we have this thing, like this track record. I hate that. According to your track record, you're not 100%. According to your track record, you will do something strange for some change. According to your track record. Now, Tim wanted us on the show to look at him as a reformed person. I am not that person that I used to be. I learned my lesson, and he was giving public speaking engagements all over the world. Do you understand me? Tim was global. He was already a public speaker before he even said, I'm going to start opening up Sweetie Pies all over the place. He already had money. He was trying to be a rapper. I ain't never heard no records. I got a record player, but I'm just saying that's beside the point. I don't like rap music for real, so don't ask me about his rap career. But he liked music, but I know for a fact he was getting paid for speaking engagements. And actually, the OWN network showed some of his speaking engagements. So we know he was making money. However, probably wasn't enough. And now that we know that you owed people money, and I'm not talking about $1,000. I'm talking about thousands of dollars, like $100,000 for this bill, $250,000 for this bill. It kind of looks like, Tim, you needed this money, Tim, to get out of some debt. Tim, I'm just saying. Yes, he is. He passed away. And I remember this episode like it was yesterday, because the family was sitting together and it was like, I can't believe that Andre got killed the same way his father did. And I can remember me, like, I just broke down in tears. Like, I was sobbing. I don't know these people from a can of paint. I don't know these people from a hole in the wall. But just when Miss Robbie said that, I mean, like, I felt their pain as well. I just was like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. It was too much. His mom was okay him to court. Tell me what you mean. I can't figure it out. His mom was okay him to court. Oh, that's nice, Fly Eagles Fly. You're just so creative. You're all over the place. You're so creative. Let me drop this link for you guys again. If you have something to say, if you want to join in, please feel free. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm on here like, I'm checking out what Instagram has to say. I'm checking out the 3 most popular news streams or whatever, because I want to keep up with the story. I don't want to miss anything. Once I saw that he was officially charged, I just was like, I have to come on. I have to talk about this because, first it was like, it's speculation. We just arrested you. But now, like, you have been charged. Like, this is big time. Like, oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Listen. Okay. I gotta go. I gotta share the screen again. This is what I was talking about. Remember this episode, you guys. Vintage clip of Tim Norman and Miss Robbie reminiscing on Andre Montgomery's death. Let me see. Did I share the, hold on a second. I want to see if I'm sharing the, I want to make sure I'm sharing the sound so you guys can hear the audio as well. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to play it just to see. Let me unplug my headphones.
I drove my mom through the park to the spot where Andre lost his life because I had not been there yet. I don't think mom had been there either. And we're still on the same street basically as my grandmother's house, Natural Bridge. So you can see grandma's house right from here.
Uh-huh. Natural Bridge is the main street that goes from one end of the city to the next. Everything happens on Natural Bridge. All the crime, all the fast racing. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
They say he came out and used the phone. So they had to shoot him right here on this porch.
We've lost a lot of family members here on this street. Andre, as of late. And then before Andre, my father. And in between that was Linda's son, Monique's brother, Aaron, who was like my brother. And it's all on this one street, a few blocks from each other. Right across from grandma's house.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it.
Since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through this part of the city. And really, I've been avoiding it.
I mean, it's like
somebody that I wanted to take under my wing and make sure that he paid it. And my goal was to get him through high school. And so when I did that, I really wanted him to go back home because St. Louis is a city where Black men are killing each other.
And this right here is the reunion,
back,
guys.
And then was there like 4 or 5 days and got killed. So that's heartbreaking.
And Linda, with Andre's passing, does that bring up the memories of your son, Aaron?
Yes, it does, because the fact that they both was young men. You know, my son, he got killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Andre, when he got killed, he was trying to make music.
Charles is not the only boys left in this generation. TJ is, he's another generation, but we lost the entire family to violence,
Charles, you and Andre, I saw, from...
I drove my mom through the park to the spot where Andre lost his life because I had not been there yet. I don't think mom had been there either.
That's crazy.
We're still on the same street,
I can't. The look on his face. Did y'all, hey, baby of the family, the look on this man's face. Did y'all just see what I saw? I just got chills. I'm not even kidding. The look on this man. Did y'all see Tim's face? The clip of the reunion? Complete blankness. You remember that episode? Listen, until today, I would have never even thought of that episode again, except for just feeling like, you know what I'm saying? The pain of what they were talking about. But now we're looking back at the clip and I'm looking at Tim's face and he is blank. Like he is watching paint dry. Girl, bye. These people will drive you to drink. I'm telling you, I never would have paid it any attention. I never would have even paid that any attention had today not happened. No emotion, not a teardrop, nothing. I mean, he's sitting there like he is waiting on a Wendy's smoothie milkshake. It's just you just sitting on the show. You just sitting there like, you know, we're gonna get a break. I need a smoke break. Like you don't care. You don't care that the camera is on you. I mean, I can't with this dude. I'm so disappointed, you guys. I'm so disappointed. Thank you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and, caring about this. And, if you can send Miss Robbie some well wishes on Instagram, Miss Robbie Sweetie Pies. Because I swear, like hers little Timmy, I don't know if I know he's old enough to understand, but I don't know if they're shielding him from this right now. Man, 10 years he was in there, wasn't he? Girl, Donna, I had said that. And I agree too. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like I know this is gonna be hard for Miss Robbie. When you heard that clip and you heard them talk about all the people that they had lost in front of his grandmother's house, right on the same street, one after one after one. Like this right here, to me, this is just Twana's opinion. To me, this is a little bit worse than murder. This is like you murdered my grandson. My son, like, put yourself in Miss Robbie's place for a minute. As she's sitting here going, there is a strong possibility that my son murdered my grandson. Can you imagine? What? There's no way on the planet. There's not enough money. There's not enough money for me to sit here and plot against you watching this to say, let me go ahead and put that policy out on Donna right quick. Let me go ahead and put that, policy out on Eric right quick. You know what I'm saying? And let me go to the strip club and let me get old girl. We got history. I'm going to get old girl to help me. I'm going to break her off some change. Because that's what happened. I mean, just be real. That's what happened. You went and got a girl that used to work in the restaurant with you back in the day when you were on the show. What did you, by the way, y'all got a paycheck for being on Sweetie Pies. What did you do with that money, sir? Where did that money go? How much money do you need? I mean, we saw how he was living on the show. He was far from broke. I drive an Infinity and I was still jealous of the dude. I was like, where you get that car, sir? It's just kind of, now that today has happened, I'm looking a little sideways. I'm like, it was too much going on. It's too much, too many things happening. Her other son was murdered a few years ago. Exactly. And yes, his mugshot did look a little crazy. He was like, are you high? Did y'all see this dude's mugshot? Let me see if I can get his mugshot so y'all can look at what I'm talking about. Because some of these people have taken the mugshot down and replaced it because everybody is updating, the story. And I'm still watching for TMZ because I desperately want TMZ to update. They usually have the 411. They usually will update, with some good stuff, but they haven't. I know they work on several different, stories at one time. So I'm certain that they'll have some more news or whatever, but this is remain the same. It's not updated. This is Tim. After he was arrested by the FBI. This was Tim earlier today after being arrested by the FBI. bump. Y'all, I got second thoughts. I'm kind of looking at Tim in a different light. I gave Tim all kind of credit and, you know, the benefit of the doubt. I wanted him to win. You know what I'm saying? I always root for the underdog because I felt like I was like an underdog in school or whatever. So I always root for the underdog. I'm always like, you know, I want you to win. I know that you had some troubles with the law and, you know, I get it. I get it. You want to get out of the hood. You don't want to be broke. You want to make a name for yourself, blah, blah, blah. I get it. You know, everybody wants to do something and leave a legacy. Everybody wants that. Nobody wants to, you know, just be broke for life. But not everybody will go to the extent of murdering somebody to do it and smile about it in their mugshot. I'm just saying, like, you look crazy. Yes, Victoria, you look crazy. You look, I'm just saying, you don't look well, son. Sir, I think you need a little help. That's just my opinion. I don't know you that well personally. I've only met these people one time because I wanted some sweetie pies. So I took a little road trip, and, you know, like I said, Miss Robbie, you know, real down to earth, real sweet, you know, singing by the piano. You know what I'm saying? Remember Tim when he took his mom to the you know, to the studio and they were working on the music and all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and here we go. Here we go. All right, TMZ is not updating. We're going to go to Clarion Ledger and see if they've updated anything because I'm on it. I am on it. I feel sorry for his mother. Miss Robbie tried to give her everything. I hope she doesn't take this personal. You can only raise them and the rest is up to them. I pray for her, Jehovah God. I do too. I'm really praying for Miss Robbie. And like I said, okay, a month ago, you guys remember I reported that Tim was complaining that he wasn't getting to see his son. Okay, Jenae, who used to be on Sweetie Pies, Welcome to Sweetie Pies, that was little Timmy's, you know, mom. So they were a couple when the show aired, and the show went through their pregnancy. So she was pregnant the whole time. The little Timmy, the son, was born premature. He went through a whole bunch of stuff. Tim was right by her side, but it seems like when they broke up, it was like so much trouble for him, you know, to spend time with the boy. And Miss Robbie was like the saving grace because she would step in, you know, and she loved that boy. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I believe strongly this Miss Robbie, she deserves visitation. She wants to spend time with her grandson. Like, and this all was going on a month ago. And then today hits, and this is some more drama on top of everything else. Are you kidding me? Did you take pictures? Oh my God. Are they not the nicest people? Are they not the nicest people though? For real. Parker says a former employee said she is not surprised. He was always doing shady business practices. It was all about money. I need to find her comment. He was. We just talked about this, how he would hire personal assistants because he was just so busy. He was swamped with work, and how he was he was selectively choosing general managers. But if you know the business of restaurants, because that was my first job, was in a restaurant, in a local restaurant, you don't need a general manager for one restaurant. A general manager manages the chain. So you go from restaurant to restaurant. You don't just stay in one. There's no such thing as a general manager for one restaurant. Nobody caught that though. Are y'all catching this? Are you shook, Karen? Because I'm shook. Now, the girls' page has since been taken down, but after the murder in March 2016, she started working on opening a storefront May 2016, and glowed up from there. It seems like he was giving her hush money. And the FBI said that money was being deposited into her account, Parker. So you're absolutely correct, but I don't think it was hush money. I think that he promised her a set amount of money, and since he didn't get that money from the insurance policy without the proper documents, he had to give her, what he could. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't so much hush money, but they had talked about how this was going down. And so as soon as the job is complete and you have verification that this is complete, run me my money. That's how I feel. My sister's having a girl in October. Yay! I like that. Oh, I'm going to be a grandmother again. Did I tell you guys? My daughter is having a baby in March. I'm so excited. I just had to throw that in there. So even though he didn't get the life insurance, she got a new car and a new home exactly a year to date after his death. That's what the FBI was looking at, how much money that she got and the purchases she made. So because of that timeline, it's not that you got the stuff. It's not that you got the money. You understand what I'm saying? It is the timeline. You guys, you can't be, these are people who are not smart in criminal activity. If you already got caught the first time and you spent a chunk of your life in prison, what made you think quick question, was he charged federally or state level? He was charged by the FBI, so I'm going to vote for federally. He was charged. They said, if I had a gavel, we know you did it. Who's your accomplice? Okay? Who is your accomplice? Because we know you did it. We got you. We got you, boo. And I'm just like, wow. I'm just checking to see if there's an update, you guys. I'm sorry for the dead air. I'm like just glued to this story. I'm just like, who's going to update the story first? Who's going to give us an update? I'm shook. I really am. I'm shook. Did you see the clips? Does anybody want to see the clips again? Parker, you know what I'm saying? Just got me thinking federally. The FBI said, you're not getting out. There's no chance of bail. And by the way, we got your girlfriend. We got your little girlfriend. And we also have your cell phone records. See, here's the thing with the little disposable cell phones, you think that there's no record and you can throw those phones away, the prepaid phones. But little do you know, you think that, okay, well, they're disposable, so I know there's not going to be a record. I don't care what kind of device you use, there will always be a record. And so if you don't want to get caught, first of all, why would you? I'm not trying to how to get away with murder. Okay, I'm not trying to how to get away with murder. My name is not Elise, but I'm thinking, did you actually put the cell phone in your name when you activated the phone? It's just a question. It's just, just saying. Exactly. I completely agree with you. I can't believe this report. I have checked and checked and checked. I have checked about 10 to 15. I want to see the clip. I came late. All right, Karen, let's see the clip. Do they have the person he paid? Absolutely. She is in custody. Prepaid phones can be traced. Exactly. Let me share the screen again and I will get that clip up for you guys running one more time.
I drove my mom through the park to the spot where Andre lost his life. But I had not been there yet. I don't think mom had been there either. We're still in the same street basically as my grandmother's house, Natural Bridge. You can see grandma's house right from here.
Natural Bridge is the main street that goes from one end of the city to the next. Everything happens on Natural Bridge. All the crime, all the fast racing. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
They say he came out and used the phone. So they had to shoot him right here on this porch.
We've lost a lot of family members here on this street. Andre, as of late, And then before Andre, my father. And in between that was Lyndon's son, Monique's brother, Aaron, who was like my brother. And it's all on this one street, a few blocks from each other. Right across from Grandma's house.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it.
Since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through this part of the city. And really, I've been avoiding it.
I mean, it's like
This is the
somebody
reunion.
that I wanted to take under my wing and make sure that he paid it. And my goal was to get him through high school. And so when I did that, I really wanted him to go back home because St. Louis is a city where Black men are killing each other. And he came back and then was there like 4 or 5 days and got killed. So that's heartbreaking.
And Linda, with Andre's passing, does that bring up the memories of your son, Aaron?
Yes, it does, because the fact that they
The
both
look
was
on
young
Tim's
men.
face.
You know, my son,
Can't.
he got killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Andre, when he got killed, he was trying to make music.
Charles is not the only boys left in this generation. TJ is, but he's another generation, but we lost the entire family to violence,
Charles, you and Andre, I saw, from.
And I drove my mom through the park to the spot where
can't.
Andre lost his life, because I had not been
The
there
look
yet.
on
I don't think
Tim's
mom.
face. Did you guys see the look? I can't get over the look on Tim's face. The look on Tim's face is like, really? Read the TMZ article, she says. All right, let me refresh this and I will share that. Let me pull that up. Let me know now. I'm not sure if TMZ is. I'm refreshing because I see something different on here, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we have some new news. See the Kris Jenner thing up here. Feds suspend his license. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. That's so sad. Welcome to Sweetie Pie's owner arrested and murdered for the higher plot in nephew's 2016 killing. This is the weird as crap mugshot of Tim Norman. Welcome to Sweetie Pie's. Star Miss Robbie is dealing with a new family shocker tied to the murder of his grandson. Cops have arrested her own son for an alleged murder for hire plot, straight out of Dateline. Miss Robbie's son and co-star on the former OWN show, James Timothy Norton, was busted by feds. I love the way they word stuff, for his alleged role in the 2016 shooting death of Andre Montgomery, his nephew, and Miss Robbie's grandson. According to docs, prosecutors say that Norman, who owns Sweetie Pie's restaurant, took out a $450,000 life insurance policy, which is correct, on his nephew back in 2014, and then worked with a woman named Terica Ellis, who, coincidentally was on the show, to allegedly pull off the murder. The feds claim they communicated on burner phones in the days leading up to the killing in St. Louis. So this is right. They are skipping a few things because they don't have all the information. But as you know, we did Clarion Ledger, and they have the actual timeline. They have the actual timeline here. The affidavit states that Norman attempted to obtain a life insurance policy for Montgomery in the amount of $250,000 in October 2014, but the policy was not issued. Then another policy totaling in $450,000 was issued, but of course he wasn't able to get it. And on March 10th, 2016, which is a completely other date, Ellis allegedly contacted Montgomery, who informed him that she was on her way into St. Louis, according to communications obtained by the FBI. All right, then we go on a little bit. On March 13th, 2016, the day before Montgomery's death, Norman flew from his then residence in Los Angeles to St. Louis. So you remember on the show that him and Charles went to St. Louis to open up a new location, and then they it was like a little it was a very small restaurant, kind of almost like a train car, size or whatever. And they were going to do a healthy version of sweetie pies and all this kind of stuff. So he did get a home in Los Angeles because of that restaurant. Going back to TMZ, immediately after Montgomery's murder, Ellis allegedly called Norman, left town, and deposited $9,000 in cash into various bank accounts. So we learned about that too on the other one. There was a deposit of $9,000 in a certain account. We don't know. I'm not really sure how that was broken up, or even if they said it was broken up, but she did get money in the sum of $9,000, but she also got other money. And this was after, throughout the day, communicating between suspects. Montgomery was shot and killed less than an hour later. 4 days later, Norman attempted to collect the insurance. In addition, Ellis made several cash deposits into her bank accounts in Memphis between March 15th and 17th, totaling over $9,000. So they worded it a little bit different, but the receipts are there. Ellis is facing the same murder for hire conspiracy charge as Norman. So both of them are facing the exact same thing. Let's take a look at what TMZ has. No, come on, don't buffer TMZ. Give us the 411. This is him graduating. This was on the show. That's him right there.
All right. Yeah. I don't think Andre really realizes what this means to our whole family, because this was a project and the whole family was supporting him the whole time.
As I'm about to walk across stage, it hits me. That's it. I'm doing it. I'm done. No more high school.
Andre, Lawan, Montgomery.
That is so sad.
When he got on stage and got that diploma, I felt like I got it. I mean, he smiled.
Come on, TMZ.
He had pride in himself, pride that he had never had before. So this is a joyous day. I mean, they said don't stand up and don't shout, but that didn't mean nothing to our family. We was going to celebrate.
Wow. Unbelievable. I know. Hi, Ebony. I know.
Summer may be canceled, but TMZ still got it all. We've got trips.
All right,
Miranda Lambert, her and her husband, traveling the country.
That hot cop got the light.
TMZ, go away now. I don't know. I mean, that is a possibility, yes. That is a possibility. He could have been jealous. I don't know, but he shouldn't have been. I mean, at this point, he's already a business owner. He's already doing speaking engagements, the scared straight thing about, having his, life reformed, after spending a chunk of his life in prison. He shouldn't have been jealous of anybody. That's stupid. I used to watch the show and thought he was reformed. Exactly. When I posted the video earlier today, I got drugged by a couple of people, I'll say two, because I said I thought he was reformed. That's all I said. I'm like, I thought this guy was reformed. And so they're like, I never thought he was a stand-up guy. I mean, I can't judge anybody. We've all done screwed up stuff. So there's no room to judge. I just was like, from what he was saying, when you watch reality TV and you don't know these people personally, that's the thing. It's like, oh, I'm so glad he's doing, well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so glad that, he's doing this, Let's look at some of the comments that we have. He has more than one child. Yeah. Yeah, he does. He has another child. It is not Jennifer's, by the way. It is not Jennifer's son. But yeah, he does. He has 2 sons. Makes me wonder, did he have his brother killed also? Well, Debbie, I have a raised eyebrow. Ebony, you're so wrong for that. Oh my. Victor says sometimes reformed people can be the worst people. I know, right? He had me fooled too, guys. He had me fooled. He was looking all buff. He was exercising. He was doing, he was living healthy. He was taking his mom to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had it going on. Red says, does anybody remember when Miss Robbie's house got broken into? Yes. Yes. It could have been him. He's just pure evil. Or he could have had somebody do it, but I feel Red. What if? Okay, let me ask you this though. Was the burglary after Andre's death? Because if so, could that have been an attempt to get the documents he needed to cash in on the insurance? It's just speculation. It's just speculation. I'm just saying, if in fact that break-in happened after Andre's death, Tim had to have been wanting to get the documents so he could cash in on the insurance policy, and he never did. He never got the insurance. So Andre died in vain. If all of this is true, and he actually, I'm just saying, exactly, is that not like, makes you think, don't it? You guys, oh my God, we're not gonna play Inch High Private Eye tonight, because I'll be up all night going, wait a minute. Cosmo says federal authorities allege that in 2014, Norman obtained a $450,000 life insurance policy on his 18-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery. Norman was the sole beneficiary. Yes, he was, but he was not able to cash in, according to the FBI, because he needed specific documents that the insurance policy company needed. So in order for you, like when somebody dies and you're the beneficiary, in order for you to get that money, you have to show up with a death certificate, and you need paperwork from the funeral home and or hospital, depending on the state you live in. But regardless of what state you live in, you must show up with that death certificate. And I feel like the only person that had that in their possession was Miss Robbie. I don't think Tim had that. And when people do stupid stuff like this, you have to think. And like I said, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Tim. And Tim, if you're innocent, I apologize. But we're purely speculating this alleged crime, that if in fact you were arrested and then convicted, and you spent a chunk of your life in prison for a crime that clearly other people have gotten away with, but you didn't, what made you think this time was going to be different? What were you thinking? This is huge. This is like some movie that you watch, on Italian network. This is like The Sopranos or something. Like, are you kidding me? You went and got your girl from the strip club to help you. I cannot. Getting my computer to see when her house was broken into. My girl sure was. She did have to sue her own son. She sure did. I remember that. She had to sue him, and she knew what he was capable of. It was clearly for the insurance money all day long. It was. Just Be Real said that ninja's guilty. Tim was wrong. I can't believe it. Yup. Oh, this will definitely be a Lifetime movie. Now, Debbie, I absolutely positively agree with you that this will be turned into a Lifetime movie, and somebody will be cashing in, but it won't be Tim. The home burglary was 2015, and her restaurant was burglarized in 2016. Parker, OMG. Now, see, that just made me, I'm inch high private eye right now. Like, seriously. They said Tim needed more documents, so he never got paid the policy. Exactly. He never got paid the policy. He needed the 3 documents that were required in his state. Everybody's different. I'm in the state of Alabama. So for me, I can show up with the death certificate, and just be like, well, we're going to use such and such funeral home and show them the paperwork, and, I get my money, or they send a chunk of the money to the funeral home, and then the rest of it belongs to me if it's somebody that I'm responsible for, or if I'm the beneficiary. So I just feel like those documents were in Miss Robbie's possession, if not in her home, definitely in her main restaurant. But I feel like they would be at her house. You know what I'm saying? That's her grandson. So of course she would have the documents. Of course. It should make everybody scared, Karen, because you know what I'm saying? Like, he just looking at him on the show. And like I said, when I was a fan of the show, when I was watching the reunion and stuff, I wasn't noticing Tim's behavior and his body language and the look on his face, because I just thought, this is a sad occasion. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but now in light of everything else, and I'm looking back at that footage, and I'm like, this dude looked like, stop talking about this, I might be guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tim was money hungry, making money moves behind Miss Robbie's back. He was making stupid moves, I guarantee you that, because he's sitting in a jail cell, and he was scared because he knew exactly. Tangela, he was afraid, he was scared, he was nervous, and that twitching and his body language as he was sitting in that seat while he was on the reunion, he was definitely nervous, and that look on his face was of, I'm not concerned about this, can we move on to something else? And I'm pretty sure that they put the microphone on him, so he had to say something, but that was like not his concern. His concern was, how do I get the documents so I can cash in on my insurance policy? I know. And like, it really is heartbreaking, Jasmine, because to see him walk across that stage, and he had high hopes. He had high hopes. Like, and what did I tell y'all before I found that clip by TMZ? He said that, I have a plan, I have a goal. And, when Miss Robbie said he was just going to make some music, he just wanted to go to the studio, they knew where he was going. If you watch that episode, Tim knew where Andre was, because he couldn't drive the delivery car. Remember that? Got to go to the studio, got to make some music. But he wasn't working with Tim. Tim was supposed to be, into rap music as well, right? So why weren't you helping him, your nephew, your brother's son? You had hookups, clearly, because you hooked your mom up. Just saying. Angela said Miss Robbie should be careful. He seems like the type of guy that could pull strings from prison. He's been in prison before. You know what I'm saying? Robbie loves little Andre more than Tim. Robbie knew that the little demon that lives inside of him, and that was the real motive, jealousy. I feel like he was just money hungry. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was like, the least person. It couldn't be Charles. He most definitely couldn't get away with murdering Charles. But then here's Andre. He's got no parents. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have any children. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He's not married. He just graduated. He's been working for the restaurant. He's not really made a name for himself yet. So is he going to be missed? He's disposable. I'm just thinking like, a failed criminal would. I can't say successful criminal, because he did spend 10 years in the penitentiary. What if the nephew murdered his dad and then the uncle? Oh my God. It is B Stokes. B Stokes is in the house. Hey sis, how you doing? How are you? On YouTube is a video of a ceremony for Andre, and Tim wasn't there. No, for real, Tangela? Oh. Victoria said, I'm sleepy, but it's just too much shock right now. My God, you just never know. You really don't. You really never know. You never know. And I just never would have said Tim would have been capable of something like this. Charles is too sweet. They needed him. And Charles, you know, he's got his mom there. He's got his family. And Charles is actually valuable to the family. And you know what I'm saying? He knows too much. He knows a lot. Charles, you know, you can't get away with, you can't. He's not disposable. It's like Andre, you know, he didn't get that much camera time, and you know, but he made a mark. You know what I'm saying? I remembered him, and he was funny. And I thought that Tim and his nephew got along. I thought they got along fine. I wonder if his mom is standing by him. I feel bad for Miss Robbie as well. I do too. Sharita said, I pray for the rest of the family. We all are, especially Miss Robbie and little Tim. Like little Timmy, I just feel so bad for him. And then Tim has another son, and he's so small, he doesn't know what's going on right now. Victoria says it's more people involved than just those two. Exactly. Victoria and you guys, this is what I feel. I feel like the Ellis girl was just an informant. I feel like she was the middleman. There was a shooter involved. There was somebody that pulled the trigger. I don't believe it was her. And the reason I'm saying that is, number one, a hitman costs more than $9,000. Let's be clear. We've all seen, you know, The Sopranos. We've all seen, you know, Lifetime movies. Ain't nobody killing nobody for $9,000 unless you just stupid or a crackhead on the street to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody checking for you. Like, nobody, $9,000. Now, I feel like the little girl from the strip club probably was in cahoots with somebody that probably was a customer of hers at the strip club. I'm just saying. Parker, you're a private detective. Ebony said, first 40. It is. I'm so upset about 2020. We're in a pandemic, and then this fool gets found out. But I said it at the beginning of the year 2020. 2020. This is the year of vision. It's going to be some closets that are just going to be completely empty because all kinds of bones are falling out the closet. I said it. Mims, you know the police pick up on it. Exactly. Baby of the family. Exactly. She was listen, that girl she was in cahoots. She said, Tim, I got a customer at the club where I strip. And, you know, if you really serious about this thing, just think about it. You don't think so? Because y'all know this girl ain't shot nobody. Please. Y'all have seen the show. If you're fans of the show, you've seen the show. She ain't killed nobody. That girl is dinky up here. She's like a born blonde. Come now. I know, you know, just me. I never thought she would have, you know, stripping a strip club, but you never can tell. You never know. Mark said, never know. $9,000 for some might feel like $1 million. Kamika said, this is just sad. 2020. I know everything is coming out. It's the year of vision. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, said, you know how much hits cost. Yes, because I be watching Lifetime movies, and I be watching what is it, the Lifetime movie channel, and them folks be spilling beans. I also am addicted to news. And when you have to report some news, and you know what I'm saying, like you kind of Okay, but no, ain't nobody finna kill nobody for $9,000 unless they just. I'm so broke I can't pay attention. I'm so broke I can't hold my head up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, is that how much a life costs to you? It's $9,000. No, she probably, because what the article said was exotic dancer. Now I'm from the dirty South, so we don't have exotic dancers here. We have strippers here. So they go to the strip joint. They don't go to the gentleman's club here. So they do that in the city. So she was at this gentleman's club where the upscalers go. So I'm pretty sure, she was like, I'm telling you, I know a guy. And she was the go-between. It'll come out though. Y'all, we are not letting this story go. It's going to come out. Give it time. Cops going to put info out on how they came to Tim being involved. Exactly. It's going to come out. And because this is an FBI case, we're going to have more on the timeline. We're going to have more documents. Oh, I cannot wait for the interrogation. Oh, because that is public. That's public consumption right there. We're gonna see tapes. We're gonna hear 911 calls. Oh, this is just gonna be good. And I still hate it for the family, but all of the dirty laundry is coming out. All of it. She was a bobblehead. Really, Ebony? Victoria said, I feel like Miss Robbie knew too. She was distancing herself from him. It was so much going on. Tim was just like, acting out, and he just, before today, when I was looking at the show, Victoria, I said, you know what, I feel like, Tim is just like stressing out because he's got a son now and he wants to be, a good influence, and he wants to do great things. And when he put the restaurant in Timmy's name, like Little Timmy, it was like Sweetie Pie's Little Timmy or something like that. I feel like he thought, oh, well, mom is going to love this. Instead, he just jumps the gun, and his thing was, I want my son to have something. I want to leave a legacy. I want to, I don't want my son to feel like I'm a bum. And, Miss Robbie was like, I understand that, but I got to show you a lesson. You can't run over me. You can talk to me and we can talk about this stuff, but you can't ruin, something that it took me forever to build. Because think about it, Miss Robbie said, I had to leave music. I was singing with Tina Turner. I had to leave music because of my health issues. And so I had Soul Food to fall back on. So Sweetie Pies for her was not just a hobby. It wasn't just a thing that you do after, you retire. She didn't retire from singing. Miss Robbie actually was like, I had to quit. My lung collapsed. So I have to survive. And I know what it's like to have an illness and then, listen, I got to get a job on my own. I have to make some money because I can't get hired. They're not going to hire me like this. So for her, this was something totally different than it is for Tim. For Tim, you know what I'm saying? This may have been just, let me build a legacy. Let me see what I can do with this. Let me try to build this empire because mom is getting old and, she's not thinking brand new. But for Miss Robbie, every step was crucial. She wasn't in a hurry because she knows if you get in a hurry and you overlook some things, you could mess up your brand. And so I just feel like, he just, there could have been a better way to handle this. And still, if you feel, strongly like that, like I love my mom. Like if me and my mom had a business together, there is no way I would overstep her boundaries. We would definitely have a talk about coming into, the new age, with stuff and not, staying, you know what I'm saying? Like I understood what he was saying, but it changes things for me as a fan. Now looking at everything after you could be a murderer. Or you could have, and your own nephew. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. Mark says Tim used to spend money without his mom's permission, and I saw in an episode. There were several episodes, Mark. There was several episodes he did that. Parker says Miss Robbie knew it was a setup. I don't know if she knew Tim did it. I feel like they knew something was up, because people on that street, in the clip we watched, on that street, you don't just randomly die. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody was watching, something was up. This is one of those streets that's known for crime. You don't go on this street unless you're strapped, unless you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know somebody in this neighborhood in order for you to be around there. It's like when I moved to Texas for a little bit, and they said you can't go in the boroughs alone because they don't know you. You need to go with somebody that knows you. And so I'm singing at these different churches, and even though I was singing for the Lord, don't go in that neighborhood without somebody that knows you. So I had to take, the pastor, if I was singing for that, I need you to go with me. We got to go, you know what I'm saying? Because I still need to make my money, but at the same time, I don't want to die today. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get that. You don't go out there without somebody you know. Monica says, Miss Robbie gave out so many jobs. Yep. And she fed so many families. She's a woman of respect. And that's why I feel so bad. Like, it's her son. How do you do that? On one hand, it's like, he's guilty, but then on the other hand, it's like, but he's my son. I can't turn my back on him. Like this right here, I don't know, y'all. Cheryl said Miss Robbie confirms at DeAndre's visual that he was murdered. Yep, sure did, by someone he knew, and got a phone call prior to his death. The family holds an emotional visual in memory of Andre. Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Exactly. And we saw a little bit of that clip. She knew. She was like, I feel like this was a setup. And we saw that episode. If you're a fan, you were glued to the TV like me. And I felt so bad because, everything, it was just like, I didn't notice it then, that when they talked about certain instances that now just seems so out in the open. But back then it was like, you kind of look over it. Well, you don't know. It could have been the studio calling him to see, if, he was coming, maybe he was late, or maybe he got a little girlfriend or so, we didn't know. But now looking back on it now after today's events, you know what I'm saying? Red said Miss Robbie is not involved. Why say that she loved Andre like a son? That's not Miss Robbie's character anyway. Well, she did love DeAndre like a son. That's her grandson, and she loved him so much, as we saw in a couple of the clips. But you're right, as far as her involvement, I think she speculated, but I don't think she really knew Tim was the culprit. I don't really feel like, because you wouldn't think that way. You would think, okay, my son has gotten into trouble, so he might do something like that again. I hope he doesn't, but you know what I'm saying? But not this. You know what I'm saying? Not this. Ebony says you wipe your hands with him straight like that. You got to, because at the end of the day, this is the FBI, and the FBI is not so much speculating. They went so much as to have hard, solid evidence before they picked your raggedy behind up. They had receipts. Baby said I found the episode on YouTube where someone broke into Miss Robbie's home. Yup. And somebody just said that timeline matches. Parker said, right. And I think that's why Tim thought he would get away with it. Exactly. He knew the history of the neighborhood. There you go. Now you're thinking like a professional, especially with having so many of his family members killed on the same street and area. That was so planned. Parker, that was so planned. Oh my God. That was so planned. That was spot on. Now you thinking like the FBI is thinking, he tried too hard. Because like I said, Tim has connections with studios that have nothing to do with this street. Why is DeAndre on this street going to the studio? You set him up for real. Why is this boy on this street at the studio? And you got connections. And we know you have connections because you sent your mama to an upper scale studio that you could have sent DeAndre to instead of on that street. She had an idea something was going on. She sure did. Phone records, Mark says. Phone records are going to be the key factor. Yep, because they went through the timeline, the documents, like the details of the phone conversations, as well as cops putting pressure on the weakest one. Exactly. They say they're going to drop a lot of time on it. Yep. It's the how did he sleep at night for me. Tangela, the man had a blank face on the reunion show. And somebody just said he didn't even show up for the visual. So he was sleeping all right. He was sleeping with Ellis, wasn't he? It's just speculation. I don't know that to be true. Cheryl said since Miss Robbie had to sue him to reclaim monies that he stole from her, DeAndre might have been heir. Okay. Now, that is okay now, because I had said earlier, that Cheryl makes a very good point. I had said earlier, who's got the documentation that Tim needed for the insurance policy to be claimed? Miss Robbie. So who knows? Tim already is making money. Tim is not broke. So the boy, the grandson, is going to need some things. Now, we know the little Timmy is taken care of. Miss Robbie has some stuff set aside for him. We saw on the show how she was preparing for his college fund education. So we know this to be true. But heir to the throne of Sweetie Pies, who knows? I mean, DeAndre was thinking about music, but at the same time, you got to have a plan B, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Tamika says, I think Tim killed him to get him out of the way. Could be. He was jealous because Miss Robbie was taking him under his wings and now suspicious of the brother's death. Somebody else said the same thing about the brother's death. Like, what is going on this street that this family keeps dying on this street? Red said that policy Tim took out got the ball rolling for an investigation. The first policy that he tried to take out got the ball rolling, because why were you denied? But how did you get approved for the other? You know what I'm saying? What was that about? Pressure bust pipes. Cops gonna make someone. Yeah. Somebody said, Mark, the weakest link. So yeah, somebody's going to know something. They're going to start putting two and two together. Everybody, trust and believe that everybody will be questioned. Everybody, including Miss Robbie, poor thing, including Charles, including, Jenae. They go into your house, Jenae. You're going to be questioned about this too, because you were in a relationship with him. You got a son with him. The girl that he had the other son with. Everybody's going to be questioned. All the family's, friends. And, boo things and husbands, wives, nieces, nephews, sons and daughters, all of y'all get ready. Everybody's getting questioned. They will not let this go. Tangela said, watch Sweetie Pie Andre's ceremony. Miss Robbie said Andre knew the person. Yeah. I saw that episode. She did say that. She said before the camera stopped rolling, she said into the camera's face, her face was right there. He knew. And she said she knew. I know he knew who did this. I know he knew who did this. And that it shook me. I was a little shook. I was like, but now looking back after today's events and after talking to you guys, I'm like, you know what? Yeah. There's too many little bits and pieces that can be put back together that we didn't notice from like watching the show. You know what I'm saying? This will be a Lifetime movie. This will be a movie in theaters. It might be. We definitely have to pray for Miss Robbie. Teresa, I totally agree because like I said earlier, I can't imagine. I have a 27-year-old daughter and I couldn't imagine someone killing her, but I couldn't imagine her taking my granddaughter out. Like that just is not, I can't compute that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, that's way too far. That's way too much. It doesn't, I can't. Why would you do that over money that you're already making? Do you know the hookup? Like Tim is stupid. If he did this, he's stupid. You are in cahoots with Oprah. You have a show that could lead to a spinoff. Because how many other shows, reality shows, have led to spinoffs? You know the money that Tim could be making right now if he agreed to a spinoff or at least pitched the idea of him having a spinoff with Jenae because Jenae is now married to somebody else and she has custody of little Timmy. Do you know the money that is involved in all of this? $450,000 policy? Psh, you ain't thinking right. You're thinking like a raggedy criminal. You should be thinking like a businessman. But whatever. I feel just horrible. You guys, said no fly. So her home was broken into December 2015 and the original restaurant was broken into July 16. Right. Yeah. Be Real said he's going to be making 30. Is that what the going rate is in prison now? 35 cents a day. I think the girl is going to sing to cut a plea deal. Absolutely. Because like I said, Parker, she didn't pull the trigger. There's no way. There had to be somebody else. She was just the middleman. I'm telling you. So he still hadn't found the paperwork. Absolutely not. He never got paid. He did not get that $450,000 because he doesn't have the documents that you need. Every insurance policy is going to comply with the state. And so I know, I'm in Alabama, so I know what the state is here, but for there, he could have needed more documents. He's a very stupid criminal. Tangela said the affidavit states Tim got one policy for, he did. He tried it for 250 and they said no. And then he went and got a 450 is what really happened. The first insurance company said, I'm sorry, we can't insure him. And what happened is he probably had to be there because I know the insurance policy for like my granddaughter couldn't take that out without them in the room because my daughter had to sign. So for some insurance, companies, you can't do that. Like they have to be there to sign. They have to be a witness. And so I only see my comments. Really? I'm seeing everybody comments. I got comments coming in from YouTube. I got comments coming in from Periscope. She said, "Oh, I'm on Periscope." Come on, Carolyn. Parker said, "I would love to know who was on the phone with Andre when he walked outside." Let me go back and see if that was, I don't know. Let me do a screen share real quick and see if that was in the I don't know if it was in here. Federal authorities claim that in 2014, Norman secured a $450,000 life insurance policy on the teenage nephew. Now, this is page 6, so I don't think they're gonna. No, page 6 did not have that much information. Clarion Ledger, they have the breakdown of everything. I kind of feel like they said something about the phone conversation, but I'm not sure. The affidavit states Norman attempted to obtain a life insurance policy for Montgomery in the amount of $250,000 in October 2014, but the policy was not issued. Another policy totaling $450,000 was issued by a separate insurance company 2 weeks later. Norman was named as sole beneficiary. 2016, Ellis allegedly contacted Montgomery, who informed him she was on her way into St. Louis. On March 10th, 2016, Ellis, which is the girl, allegedly contacted Montgomery, which was DeAndre, who informed him. She told DeAndre she was on her way into St. Louis, according to communications obtained by the FBI. On March 13th, which is a few days later, the day before Montgomery's death, Norman flew from his then residence in Los Angeles to St. Louis. So could it be possible that DeAndre was speaking to the Ellis girl? Maybe he was keeping in touch with her instead of keeping in touch with Tim. I don't know. This sounds like Days of Our Lives, except for it's real, Fly. It's real. The stripper is going to try to save herself. Yeah, she's going to cut a deal for sure. She's cutting all kinds of deals because she's going to be like, I was hired to do this. I didn't really know what was going on. She could lie. She could be like, I just thought maybe he was going to break his kneecaps or something. I didn't know, whatever, because she wasn't really there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the stripper called to me. It looks like the communication was that stripper, Ellis, who used to work at one of the Sweetie Pies. Just wait and see. They're always a state witness. Stay tuned. I know, Mark. I'm glued to it. Like, I'm hoping. There's still like this little part of me that is like, I really hope it's not true, but the majority of my brain is like, girl, get your head out of the clouds. It's real. Parker says, yes, you were right. It was the stripper. Shaking my head. Tim is guilty. I hate to say it, y'all, but it looks like Tim is guilty. I'm gonna close out, but I am going to come back tomorrow. So if you guys want the 411, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, y'all. And thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and talking about this. You guys have had some really amazing theories, and I totally appreciate it. You guys have got to come back because y'all know, if you don't know me, I be watching Instagram and stuff like I should be working for TMZ. I be like, let me tell you what happened. And don't forget to watch the first video. I did have some information that I shared with the screen. Hi, Ms. Zoe. It has always been something about that guy. I know, right? Cheryl said Tim could have been set up. No way he could know for certain. No way we could know for certain if we did this. I mean, it could be a setup. I don't know, because Tim was smiling like a Cheshire cat in that that picture. I'm like, are you trying to tell us something? I don't know. But the fact that you guys came in and you guys were like, hey, let's talk about this, it shows that you guys care. It shows that you guys, were interested in this, and I really appreciate it. And I got to keep in touch with a lot of you. So, hit that subscribe button. I'm not a boring person. I do talk about some interesting things. Not all of it is makeup. I do come with the 411 on the latest news. Okay. But I am going to do a follow-up video on this because I know when I wake up tomorrow, there will be some more news. So we are going to stay glued to this. So I want you guys to stay with me. And I really appreciate you guys. Fly Eagles Fly says, what's the stripper's name? Candy. No, it's not Candy. It's Ellis. Her last name is Ellis. Has been suggested by many of you that we say a prayer for the family. So I think it would be appropriate if we close out with that. So let's come together and say a prayer for this family, because God knows they need it. They need it so bad. Lord, we come to you right now in prayer for every member of Welcome to Sweetie Pies, Miss Robbie and her family and extended family. Please give them courage, give them strength, give them hope. And my heart just bleeds for this family, and a lot of us on here, we love this family. We love this show. We were fans of this show, and we want everybody to be okay. Protect the children because they're so young and they really just don't understand this kind of stuff. And it's going to be a hard road, and they're going to need strength, Lord. So we're just asking you to build their strength up so that they can endure whatever is about to come their way. Bless everybody within the sound of my voice tonight. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate all of you, whether you're subscribers or not. Jesus, give us a beautiful, blessed rest so that we can sleep and be wide-eyed in the morning and ready to do wonderful things. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, guys, I am out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I will talk to you guys soon. I love y'all so, so much. Thank you for just making this an awesome night, and I will talk to you guys later on with an update on this and more upcoming news. Bye for now, y'all. Stay safe.